Hi, my name's Sam, and this is my digital rights project. So, for my first digital asset, I chose to do a series of 3 photos for presenting how cyber attacks can occur. So, for my first image, I chose to use a person at their table where they are on their laptop and they look a bit distressed because there is now a display of error sign, which implements a glitch in the system, or someone is obviously hacking them, and obviously in the background there is someone there metaphorically hacking them. They could be anyone, and they don't know what to do because they're in distress and they obviously don't know how to overcome it. I filmed it in black and white to make a dull atmosphere. So for my second image, I chose to capture the individual back at his laptop, but there is more cyber attacks being caused. So on the screen of the laptop, it displays quite a lot of images in bright different colors, showing different signs of cyber attacks, meaning that it could be multiple, not just one. And their uncertainties just grow because they don't know how to overcome them or the solutions to these attacks. They're trying to handle it, but just really uncertain of how to move forward with them. The third image to this cyber attack is kind of like it's a different avenue in the sense that the person is now on their laptop, but they are now aware of the dangers of cyber attacks. They have grown in researching how to overcome them, uh, adding things like antivirus softwares and changing passwords, or adding authenticator apps that might help their experience or reduce their exposure to these attacks. They look a lot more happy in this picture, more certain or more comfortable with going along their online activity basically. And I tried to do this picture so then the lighting was a bit more brighter, and as you can see on the person, they've got a little smile on their face, so they look a bit more reserved and more confident in their online engagements, which just shows the reflection of how image 1 to image 3 has changed and how someone can overcome a cyber attack. So this is my second digital asset, which is a short video on digital privacy, which I filmed accompanied by my friend. So in this video, my friend is also using a metaphorical person who seems to know a lot about my online data and my online activity, in the sense that the person knows a lot about my passwords, my location, for example, or like stuff I've bought through transactions, which in the video I seem to be a bit off guard because I'm quite nervous and quite scared as to how someone can know so much about me. As the video goes on, it basically highlights the issues caused by digital privacy and how easily your data can be exposed. And it comes with advice at the end, which I suggest ways in which you can overcome these issues and safeguard by changing passwords or adding VPNs or adding authenticator apps, which could help. Um, but yeah, I chose to record this in the living room of my house. Bit of a cozy atmosphere where I could just be minding my own business, and a cyber attack or your digital privacy could just be exposed just like that.
So, for my target audience for digital asset one of photography on the concept of digital threats and cyber attacks, tries to use the 18 to 25-year-old age range because these individuals are likely to be in education or starting in their careers, for example. So, they're quite tech savvy individuals who continuously browse the internet or they have large amounts of social media consumption and gaming and shopping online, basically. So basically, they are quite vulnerable to these cyber attacks, and they're placed at quite a vulnerable position where they could be attacked. And often they do know quite a lot about tech, but sometimes they can be quite unaware about cyber attacks because it's a very easily missed thing because it is quite a on talking about thing, and it isn't really a thing where individuals are educated on unless you've done some research by yourself. In terms of digital asset 2 for short film video, target audience was also around the 18-25-year-old age range because these individuals tend to be on online platforms quite a lot, and they consume a lot of data online. So they might be unaware of the digital footprints that they leave online, and this can be detrimental. So they might be compromised with their data, and they might be fully unaware.
So the purpose of my first digital asset on the photos of cyber attacks, it was basically to illustrate the serious and often hidden risks associated with cyber attacks, particularly in the context of security threats individuals face online. So I wanted to basically raise awareness about cybersecurity and the issues faced. So the main goal was really just to draw attention to the growing prevalence of cybersecurity attacks and the impact on personal security. So using visual representations through my images, the threats can help the audience basically visualize the often invisible natures of digital vulnerabilities. In terms of my second asset, the purpose was basically, it was a short video, which is about 3 minutes long, on digital privacy. And the purpose was to highlight the importance of digital privacy and to educate young adults around the ages of 18-25 on how their personal information can be easily exploited, and the active steps that they can take to overcome these breaches. So I just want to do a raise awareness video. Basically, I kind of filmed it in a comedic style, so then all target audience can be engaged by it. So in terms of the development for digital asset 1 on the photography, I just tried to capture the awareness that needed to be seen yet for the dangers of cyber attacks caused on individuals who might have ill knowledge on it or need to be educated further because it isn't talked about very much. So I took notes from people like Schneer B, talks about the widespread dangers of data disclosure and surveillance, and basically how young adults can be vulnerable in them situations. In terms of digital asset 2, which was the short form video, it was really just a video talking about how personal information can be spread online so easily, and I wanted to demonstrate how targeted young people can be without even knowing that they're that vulnerable in situations, because they seem to be quite tech people, but at the same time they can be the most vulnerable. So Green Tea shows how young adults frequently underestimate the risks associated with digital behaviours, especially on social media. So like I said, they're the ones that could be targeted the most. So in terms of independent research for digital asset 1, I chose to look into cyber attacks and digital threats online. So I did research into the different types of cyber attacks being caused, such as phishing, online data breaches, and hacking. So we're all aware of those types of terms, but how they actually happen, sometimes we're quite unknowing of them. So I wanted to picture this in a series of 3 images, so that it was in a place where it was like neutral ground, so like my house, for example, so that that would portray a story of the fact that you could be hacked anywhere and you wouldn't be aware of it, basically. and also did some research into like the psychological effects of being hacked online and stuff like that. And it's quite clear that if you were to ever get hacked or being attacked through cyber attacks online, it could be devastating, and it might be quite hard for the person to cope or overcome it because of the lack of knowledge of how to protect yourself. So, independent research for Digital Asset 2 and the short form video on digital privacy. So, it's quite common that a 18 to 25-year-old demographic are likely to be the biggest consumers online through social media, gaming, etc. So they can also be the most ignorant in them situations to be in online and not be aware of the actual digital footprint, which makes them exposed to their passwords, their privacy online, for example. So I wanted to do some research into that, and I looked into different avenues of how I could implement that into a video. So making complicated issues more enjoyable through a more humorful video, which would make it more engaging, basically, to the viewer. So for Digital Asset 1, for my 3 series photos, I did feel like it did send a good story of the issues of cyber attacks and how to overcome them. So I use the word of empowerment on this, and one thing I think that could be associated, especially in my pictures, is the lighting. So it starts off quite dull, so that kind of sets the mood of the person being very overwhelmed by the fact that they've been hacked, and then the lighting increases towards the end of the picture, where they now have the security breaches and things in place for them to be protected online. However, I do feel like it could have been improved a little bit on the second photo, as I've mentioned before, because you can barely see the person's face, so looks on emotions and stuff like that can really send a better story through. And I kind of failed to do that a bit because I wanted to focus a little bit more on the symbols on the actual screen. So yeah, for Digital Asset 2, making a short form video about digital privacy, I do feel like I've implemented humor quite well into the video, so that it applied to the 18 to 25-year-old demographic, where they'd find it a little bit more engaging. So highlighting important matters while having a little twist of humor with it makes a video just overall more entertaining for the person watching it. Therefore, they're going to take more on board and be more knowledgeable about it. I do feel like I did address the concerns with solutions to being digitally profiled and the surveillance. I do feel that there could be a bit more improvement, because I felt like I struggled a bit with the humour aspect of it, and at times because it was getting a bit mixed up with the main message being sent of how to protect yourself and what you're entitled to through your digital privacy.